We eat cows, pigs, and chickens. We eat goats, sheep, and rabbits. We eat deer, bison, and buffalo. In Bangkok, they fry insects on the street. In Iceland, they eat fermented shark. In Peru, they roast guinea pigs over fire. In Japan, they eat raw horse on rice. If it walks, swims, flies, or crawls, someone on Earth has cooked it and eaten it. Now think about the last time you saw hippo on a menu. Any restaurant, any country, ever. You can't. And that should bother you, because the hippo is one of the biggest animals alive. A grown male weighs 3,300 to 4,000 pounds. That's a full car sitting in your driveway. Some giants cross 5,000 pounds. One hippo holds more meat than 2 full cows, and they're everywhere in Africa. They live in herds, dozens strong, along rivers from Senegal to South Africa. They eat grass, the cheapest food on Earth. They breed on their own, with no human help. So on paper, the hippo looks perfect. Huge body, cheap diet, found everywhere. Everything says we should have farmed it long ago, right next to the cow, the goat, the pig. So here's the question. How did 10,000 years of farming skip the hippo? How did 8 billion hungry people miss it? The answer is wild. It involves money, violence, and strange biology, and a hidden layer of human psychology. And the strangest part? America almost did it. In 1910, the US came within a few votes of raising hippos for meat in Louisiana. Stay till the end. The last part will change how you think forever. Now let's start with the math, because that's where the dream dies first. A beef cow is ready in 18 to 24 months. You feed it grass on a fenced field. In 2 years, you get 400 pounds of beef. Cattle farming has been perfected over centuries. Every cost and number is known. Now run those numbers on a hippo. A female hippo is pregnant for about 8 months. That part is close to a cow. But here's where it all falls apart. A baby hippo weighs 100 pounds at birth, and it won't be full size for 5 to 7 years. Some males keep growing past 10 years. A cow gives you beef in under 2 years. A hippo wants feeding for half a decade first. And then there's the cage problem. Hippos need deep water every single day for cooling, skin care, and survival. Their skin is nearly 2 inches thick, but under the sun, it dries and cracks. Hippos can't sweat like cows or horses. Instead, they make a reddish, oily fluid. People call it blood sweat, but it's not blood and it's not sweat. It's a natural sunscreen and antibiotic. Japanese scientists studied it in 2004, but it can't replace real water. Without daily water, the hippo's skin breaks down. Its body overheats and its health collapses. Now think about building that. A water enclosure for one hippo is crazy expensive. Now imagine hundreds of them. That's the minimum for a real meat farm. It would be a money disaster. Pumps, filters, reinforced concrete, fencing for an animal that shreds steel like paper. And a hippo without water is on a countdown. Now the food bill. A hippo eats 80 to 100 pounds of grass a night. A cow eats about 25 to 30 pounds a day. The hippo eats 3 times more and gives you nothing for 5 to 7 years. A cow feeds you in a year. A hippo asks for a decade first. But in 1910, nobody had done this math, and that's how one of the weirdest US laws began. Back then, America had a big problem. Newspapers called it the meat question. The population was exploding. Cities grew faster than farms could feed them. Beef prices were climbing, and grazing land was running out. A congressman named Robert Broussard had an idea. Louisiana had its own strange problem, too. A plant called water hyacinth. It came as a pretty decorative gift, but it turned into a disaster. It covered the waterways like a living carpet. It choked boats and suffocated fish. So Broussard's plan was simple. Bring hippos from Africa. Release them into the Louisiana swamps. The hippos eat the plant, and Americans eat the hippos. 2 problems. 1 giant animal. He introduced a real bill in Congress. It asked for $250,000. That's about $8 million today. The Washington Post called it Lake Cow Bacon, and the public was actually into it. Back then, America loved trying new foods, so farming hippos didn't sound crazy. It sounded like an adventure, and 2 wild men showed up to support it. The first was Frederick Russell Burnham, a legendary American scout and adventurer. He was a friend of Theodore Roosevelt. He even inspired the Boy Scout movement. He had eaten hippo meat and loved it. The second man was Fritz Duquesne, a South African who once fought against Burnham. He was a spy and a saboteur. Years later, he was arrested as a Nazi spy. But in 1910, these two enemies stood together, an American hero and a future Nazi spy, both arguing for the exact same thing: bring hippos to Louisiana, feed America. The bill passed early committee hearings. It had sponsors, press, and expert testimony. And then it just died. The committee let it expire. But the reason isn't hard to guess. Someone finally asked a simple question. What does a hippo do near its water? And that's the second reason we never farmed them. The one that kills people. The hippo is the most dangerous large land animal in Africa. Not the lion, not the elephant, not the buffalo or the crocodile. The hippo. It kills around 500 people every year. That's more than lions and leopards combined. And it isn't even a hunter, it's a grass eater. It just attacks anything that enters its space. A hippo's jaws open nearly 180 degrees, wide enough to close around a human body. Its lower teeth are longer than your forearm. Its bite force is around 1,800 pounds per square inch. A lion bites at about 650. A hippo bites 3 times harder than a lion, and its teeth were built to fight other hippos. Against a human, they're catastrophic, and on land, they're shockingly fast. A hippo can sprint 19 to 22 miles per hour. Usain Bolt's top speed was about 27, and he held it for just 2 seconds. A 4,000-pound hippo charging at you is not something you outrun. They flip over boats, they charge and overturn safari trucks. They've even killed full-grown crocodiles. A hippo snaps a crocodile like a pencil. Now, imagine farming that animal. A dairy farmer walks among his cows daily. He checks them with a calm hand. All farming depends on one thing: sharing space safely with the animal. Cows allow that because we bred them for it. For thousands of years, we removed the aggressive ones and kept the calm ones. Hippos never went through any of that. Every hippo alive is still fully wild. Their survival plan is 16 million years old. Be too big, too angry, too dangerous to touch. A farmhand walking into a hippo pen would never reach the water's edge. So why did it never get close to domestication? In 1997, a scientist named Jared Diamond answered this. He listed 6 rules an animal must pass. 1. It needs a cheap, easy diet. 2. It must grow up fast. 3. It must breed in captivity. 4. It must have a calm temper. 5. It must not panic in confinement. 6. It must follow a social leader. Cows pass all 6. So do sheep, goats, pigs, horses, and dogs. The hippo fails at least 3 of them. Temper is the obvious one. A hippo doesn't just resist you, it tries to kill you. Growth is the second failure, 5 to 7 years to grow up. A chicken takes 6 weeks, and the third failure is the biggest: social structure. Cows follow a leader, control the leader, control the herd. Hippos don't work like that. They aren't ranked. They're territorial. Each male claims a stretch of river and defends it. There's no leader to follow. Herding hippos is walking through a minefield, where every mine weighs 2 tons and has teeth. And here's a strange twist from genetics. The hippo is not related to the pig. Its closest relatives are whales and dolphins. So this isn't a big, stubborn pig. It's a completely different kind of creature. Now, has anyone ever eaten hippo? Yes. And the pattern tells the whole story. Ancient Egyptians hunted hippos on the Nile. Pharaohs threw harpoons from boats. They ate the meat after the kill. But the key word is kill. Not raise, not breed, not farm. For 3,000 years, they never penned one. Every case is a wild hunt. Track it, kill it, risk your life. Nobody ever farmed one. You can kill a hippo and eat it. You cannot raise one. But there's a deeper reason underneath. The hippo just isn't seen as food. In ancient Egypt, there was a goddess named Taweret. She was a pregnant hippo standing upright. She protected mothers and newborns. The same people who hunted hippos also prayed to a hippo goddess. The hippo carried too much meaning. It couldn't become just a product. Then the West met the hippo in the 1800s, and it was seen as a spectacle. The first hippo at the London Zoo arrived in 1850. Even Queen Victoria came to see it. A craze called hippomania swept Britain. The hippo became a wonder, not a meal. Now, maybe you're thinking, maybe nobody just tried hard enough. Well, there's a live experiment happening right now. In the 1980s, Pablo Escobar built a private zoo. He imported 4 hippos to Colombia. In 1993, Escobar was killed. The government moved most animals away, but the hippos were left behind, too big and too dangerous to move. So they walked into the Magdalena River. 4 hippos became over 150 in 30 years. A whole government still can't control them. The animal simply refuses to cooperate. So let's stack all 4 reasons. The economics don't work, the violence is absolute, the biology rejects it, and the culture drew a line. Nobody ever wrote a rule against eating hippos. The meat is edible. It tastes fine. We simply decided not to, across dozens of separate cultures, for thousands of years. The real question isn't why we don't eat hippos, it's how many other animals sit on that same list. Whales, gorillas, dolphins, elephants, protected by no fence and no law, only by a silent human agreement. So what animal would you add to that list? Drop your answer in the comments and subscribe.